All right, I can face it. To the store in the back, got some mint M&Ms to stand in for a drink. I looked at the candy bar section and thought, or the the most accessible candy bar section, and I thought to myself, what here is most like a drink? As I make my way towards the aisle and don't want to look too much further. There's no drinks near me that are appealing, so I'm going to get the candy bar that resembles a drink the most. And toss up between the York peppermint patty and the new thing on the block. But I'm the sucker for the new thing. And so that's how it went down. And got the coffee ice cream. Coffee ice cream means that, even if the mystery isn't solved, I'm celebrating for the imminent solve of the mystery. But even if it isn't, coffee ice cream is going to help me face Francis's thought control, which might be a qualified best. I don't think it would be. It's going to be up there. It's going to be a basic confirmation of all these damn lyrics to another brick in the wall. Anyways, Frances has been thinking it over. You know what she really has going on is this moral dilemma. Do I guess pudding and put poor Greyflink in agony? Especially when poor Greyflink, wasn't it Frances made the comment on how much she appreciated Greyflink's story? Yeah. I like that, Mr. G, says Frances, so they're pals. Greyflink gives us stories. Frances in particular enjoys the stories. The two of them are pals. So she doesn't want to double cross her pal by guessing pudding, when the pal thought it aloud without actually guessing it. That would be tragic. So, I was wondering, what if Frances tries to change her guess? She says, "Oh my God, I know it's pudding. I know this." Deet. Okay, no, that's the old one. 8 hours ago, 15 hours, 7-6. Tommy the Who. Wizard Psychedelic. See, there it is. Greyflink thought it, didn't guess it. Said, no, it can't be that easy. Or no, that's just me and just me being overly food obsessed. We need to calm the heck down. This is a serious game. So, no, every step, they're going hard and fast and furious because it's a pointed mystery. It's a singular. Well, not singular versus plural. It's a singular mystery. That's why you're going to it. That's why you're going to it so quickly. That's why once you hit, you took a little while to get to Pink Floyd. Not that long. I mean, if Pink Floyd was the mystery, and you made it 74 guesses, we might say hooray, because that's a pretty low count. So maybe it wasn't so bad. Could have been faster. It was Francis. Well, no, 46. That's not the same business. You're going to it quickly because it's singular. It's clear. The mystery is clear. You went to the right. You weren't so bad getting Pink Floyd, I guess, and you went straight to the right song. Straight within the lyrics of the right song twice by two people, although only one of them made a guess. Every step is right. Every step has been right, and that's because this is a singular mystery that is on the same wavelength as the people. For once. For once, I'm not, being especially dastardly. Well, I guess I tried, this modifier thing. It's a weird modifier. Trying to be a little bit dastardly, but no, no, this is, I'm being a person about as much as you guys are this time. So we're relating to each other, and you're going to it fast and furious. So it's singular. Anyways, so it's not going to be merely the third in the series of we don't need no education, we don't need no thought control, as Francis says. We don't need no dark sarcasms in the classroom. We need none of that. But in that series of three, which is the one? I mean, I guess if you wanted one that stood out, it would be education. But it's been taken. And there's certainly nothing singular about thought control versus dark sarcasms. There is also the small point, or the not so small point, if you're really bearing down. I guess that was like first out of her thought. She wanted to go hard on her first. She might have wanted to go hard on her first thought, thinking this is the only way she could be the next guesser, have the next shot. But first off, thought control, two nouns, and the combination of them doesn't actually suggest a word of different meaning than the two parts. The whole is really not its own thing. There's thought, there's control, and there's controlling thoughts. So it's not as distinct noun anyways. We have the opening clue that says that the mystery has more hits. We can explore that one. The mystery has more hits than the modifier. So Pink Floyd is up around 3.5 million, 3.6. And so what do we get for thought control? Less, don't you think? Not eligible. Not anywhere close to eligible based on the opening clue. Not eligible in terms of how many hits it gets relative to Pink Floyd. And not an eligible noun for the fact it is two nouns put together whose sum is not greater than its parts. So I don't think we need another confirmation about it. About that, is it really lyrics from Another Brick and Wall? Really? I guess we forgive Frances on the basis that it was the first thing she thought of. And the early bird gets the worm. Except this is correspondence. This is correspondence, and we do value well thought out guesses. Fairly, there are competing ideas, right? Gray-flank scattershot, and, guessing with or without a clue. And he has a pretty good percentage. But one thing that's really interesting is when you look at the lifetime statistics ordered by player debut, Gray-flank in the listing, Gray-flank is listed right next to a player called Asa Sui. from Sweden and hasn't been with us in ages. But Gray Flank, they're night and day in terms of how their level of participation in terms of guesses per game. Like Gray Flank's logging over 100 guesses a game lifetime, and in contrast, Asa Swee's has been around 10, more like 10. About Gray Flame guesses about 10 times more often than Asa Swee. Then you look at other elements of their game, their winning percentages are almost the same. Gray Flame, I think, is actually slightly higher, but they're very close. Their winning percentages are very close to each other, but then Gray Flame has one of the worst worst percentage marks ever for, not in the category of percentages, but some of the worst averages in terms of giving us new number ones on a per guess basis, while Asa Swee had one of the highest, and it made sense. Asa Swee thought things over more, made more considered choices. They ended up being better choices. But Gray Flank is throwing just all kinds of crap out there, and once in a while it sticks. And the end result has been that a player like Gray Flank and a player like Asa Swee are not terribly distinguishable from one another in terms of the bottom line. Let's get on with it. Has Frances put in her second one? She's thought it over, and I hope it hasn't been a moral dilemma. So do I go with the obvious? Do I let Gray Flank get the obvious, wringing my hands about our friendship, and can it survive this? Let's see what we got. Pudding is the mystery. Maybe Miss Markey. But no, maybe this is Frances, but it might be her guess number 2. This might be it. Ah! No! Frances does not get it. The thin ice. She doesn't believe in it. I don't know what this is. I assume it's just some other Floyd title. Frances does not believe in it. That all of that wasn't just screaming that we were correct to be going into lyrics from Another Brick in the Wall. I do wonder if you look this up on Wikipedia, if you look up Another Brick in the Wall for the lyrics, I wonder if that pudding business at the end of it is, not considered part of the lyrics. That is somehow outside the song. There might be editions of the song out there, printed lyrics of the song out there, that don't consider this here part of Another Brick in the Wall proper. It's not sung. It's kind of towards the end. It's like, what's the Beatles one? I've got itches on my fingers or something. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Well, here's another reason that we can get behind. I don't know if I've given you one reason. Here's a reason I can get behind doing Frances's guesses. Frances had 4 percentage number ones at last report, when I last mentioned the fact. Then she guesses another brick in the wall, and that makes 5. It did not mention that, but it was a 5th. So I don't expect ground to be broken with thought control, but it might give it a whirl. It might give dark sarcasm a run for its money. Especially when mind control seems to be the more usual way of putting it, and thought control might be more of a Pink Floyd way of putting it. So maybe it's some chance. Anyways, if we can get Frances a 6th percentage number 1, she'd be knocking on some pretty historic territory. There was once a time when 6 percentage number 1s was all you needed to get listed in the record book. Now there's been too many people get to 6, and I make the cutoff 7. But 6 used to be considered quite special, and she would be at 6 if thought control made it. So we are curious, and we're going to look. But if we do not have a qualified best, we will not go to print with Frances's guesses. Okay? Here we go. Well, we need to line up our list in order of guests. In ordered guests. See, mother, that's a great one. Whole new meaning to mother now. And I wonder if anyone might be taking a peek at how the old Buffet did. Because Buffet, by Greyflank, my incorrect interpretation of a Greyflank statement, rather than the guess per se, it's really the only food-related term that had ever been on the list. And then it got erased. Said, no, Greyflank says, no, I really did mean Buffett as in Jimmy Buffett and not buffet. So buffet was on the list very briefly, was taken down. Buffet did better than Buffett, because Buffett is mostly the capitalist Warren and not the songster Jimmy. It's 9/10 Warren. So Buffet did score better than Buffett, but then I took it down. It wasn't intended, and I took it down, and now there is no trace anymore on the list of anything food related. I don't know, something might give if you needed the push, you might want to be in contact with, and I haven't looked at this myself, but you might want to be in contact with Buffet to see when it was briefly on the board, how did it fare compared to its neighbors? Maybe that's the thing to look up here as we do our meandering journey. But we have thought control, and my education, Pink Floyd wise, is pretty lacking. The Thin Ice. See what we have. If that is just some other Pink Floyd title, I guess I wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised anyways. I don't know what more we could ask of the list to bear out that, yes, it's another brick of the wall. Yes, it's lyrics within another brick of the wall. Okay. Thought control. Bearings. Okay. We do want to look up Pink Floyd and Pudding together to square our mystery hits away. 12.6 is a little bit of a come down. 12.6 thousand. So we had that huge spike from 12.2 to 12.8, and now we're just drifting downwards a bit. 12.6. That was a hefty spike. 500, probably one site. One site, mysterious site somewhere in the world, gave it big play. We have two guesses. We know thought control is new. We know the thin ice is new. I would know if these things were on the board already. So, we are just about truly ready to resume. Okay, so there it is. However, pudding is all we need these days. The mystery proper. We're going to tack on Pink Floyd to other guesses, though. We're going to assume Pink Floyd as part of the guessers' guesses. Thought control, 60,900. No. Thought control, 60,900. But with Pink Floyd, now this might be interesting. How much of thought control is about the Pink Floyd lyric? 60,900. Well, no, it's much more broad than that. 4,320. That's down there though. 4,320. 4,320. Millions, hundred thousands, 10,000s, 1,000s. You see, by comparison, you have, dark sarcasm is more rare than thought control. Even when modified by Pink Floyd. 2009-10, 4,310. So we're going to assume about the same number of shares. Dark sarcasm at 341. Thought control should be almost exactly there and should therefore go lower. Thought control, Pink Floyd Pudding, 424. There is the story. Dark sarcasm, 341, 424. Well, but is it comparably? Let's see. Maybe it's on one side and not the other. So dark sarcasm wins in percentage, 113,000 to 95,000. And of course, percentages, that's where Francis has been way up there. Maybe it's the best though. 3.9, it is the higher of the two. 3.9 for thought control versus 3.7 for dark sarcasm. So it looks like it's in the best. And just a hair off of Pink Floyd itself. Probably pudding's the one word in the world that can go higher than these things that have already been guessed. Okay, now let's do the thin ice. Establish what the heck that's about. Lyrics, the wall lyrics. Mama Lizard Baby. That was Pink Floyd. It is from The Wall, from the motion picture. So another song. 29,000. That's probably fairly darn exclusively Pink Floyd. But I bet you it's going to be over half. Everything we've seen so far has been these Pink Floyd songs and such. Pink Floyd itself appears a little bit more like 40% on 40% of these other things pages. But the Thin Ice, this is not something that has any popular appeal, any broad popular appeal. So it is going to track much more closely with Pink Floyd. See, other things, we might be just talk about our favorite songs, and it's not necessarily going to be a Pink Floyd discussion. But this is Thin Ice is for hardcore Pink Floyd people. So it's going to track closer than the 40% that we've been seeing most of the time. 29,000. No, I'm wrong. It's only tracking 30%. Ah, geez. Maybe there's people out in the world talking about the Thin Ice. Well, the ice was the thick ice is over there, but the thin ice is over there. So over here. So, anyways, complicated game. It's hard to hold it all together. Hard to figure it all out, especially on the fly. The Thin Ice, Pink Floyd, Pudding, 8,660. 8,660. Millions, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000. 864, just a little over double Thought Control. But does the lyrics track? Do the shares track? Excuse me. No, not at all. 168. Okay, so that ought to be educational anyways. And the main thing we need to know about as we decide if we want to go to print, let's just get the verification. I can hardly imagine why we actually need verification. So this is kind of being obsessive, I guess. We're going to formally look to see if Thought Control made the best. 7,000, 9,000. Something in my screen that's not going to show up over on yours. Yeah, I don't think they recorded the dirt on my screen. Screencastify does not record the dirt. 9,000. How do they do that anyways? How do they not record the dirt? 9,000, 10,000 for Brick in the Wall. 20,000 for The Final Cut. 95,000 for Thought Control. Yeah, so 20,000 all the way to 90 for Thought Control, then 113 for Dark Sarcasm. So yeah, Thought Control is in the best. They're right next to each other, of course. Where is the Thin Ice? Just for giggles. Right there, 18,000. So it doesn't even make bronze. There's gold. There's its own. These are all golds, but they're all three higher than this other one that's lower in both percentage and shares. So fourth place ribbon is what we call that. We don't care about fourth place ribbons until a game is 400 guesses old. So no, nobody cares about the thin ice. So we're starting our process of going to print with this batch. Second and fourth is not bad scores, really. If you want to look at it that way. As a matter of fact, all this is rather, well, I guess I did the full scroll to find out what our guess count was. Our guess count is 88. I certainly didn't need the full scroll to figure out the rankings of the guesses at hand. Now, yeah, okay, Pink Floyd, Thought Control, Dark, Thought Control, Dark Sarcasm, Education. It just cannot be any clearer. The Wall, another brick in the wall. Now that may be a little bit, that might be a little bit confusing, why the album scores higher than the song. But there is also the issue, I don't know. Maybe it's just The Wall appears in so many times, it's a repeated lyric. I suppose that The Wall gets points both for the song title, as being a partial of the song title, and being the full album title. That's probably what puts The Wall higher. But yes, it just couldn't be, it could hardly be clearer with Pink Floyd being followed in overalls by Thought Control, Dark Sarcasm, and Education. It's just nutty. And of course, it's not really necessary. We have no champs. The differentials can get weird. You know what? Pink Floyd did not win differentials easily. And that is telling me we actually have a shot. I think Thought Control has a shot at taking differentials. That would be something. If the modifier falls in something. That might be worth looking into a bit more deeply, too. How fallible might Pink Floyd be? Well, we actually know the Pink Floyd. Wait a sec. We know the Pink Floyd is not leading differentials. That's old news. Yeah, it was a narrow triple crown at the time, but all kinds of things have now gone past it. It's holding on to traditionals, but everybody and his sister has gotten past it in both percentage and differentials by now. Ah, jeez. We are just, I don't know, Thought Control is just so close. Why not? I don't think it's in, though. Now, but it is tracking. It's tracking exactly with Dark Sarcasm. Just perfect. and so strange for education. We don't need no education. That'd break the wall. Tommy is kind of confusing, except that this Tommy character is right next to David, so there might be a Tommy in the band. That seems to be what's logical. And the W following each other. Kind of weird. Album titles following each other. I mean, this is just so perfect. We don't need no education from another brick in the wall. Fellows named David and Tommy. Kind of bizarre, but the W. And I think here we're talking about album to album. Things we don't need know of. Nirvana scores ahead of Pink Floyd. Or actually, they're tracking together. Psychedelic rock, Pink Floyd, Nirvana. I guess after that it gets a little strange. But, man, a lot of like things tracking each other. A lot to put your trust in this game. And just as I say that, I look at that rock anthem at the bottom and say, what the hell? But, most of the time it makes sense. So where are we now? AP, everything's been ranked. Thought control, that's where it's maybe the one area that's kind of close. G, largest. There they are. This is where they shine. Actually, thought control is second in both. Thought control, you know what? That even is going to make it a. So I don't recognize that. It's second in. This is kind of interesting. Its thought control is second in percentage to Dark Sarcasm, and it's second overall to Pink Floyd. And between the two of them, the components of what we used to call sum of ranks, which I guess is still called sum of ranks, except I haven't carded that measure out forever, is something that says thought control is a champ. What the hell? Let's bring out a new number one. Let's card out a new number one. Why not? I'm starting to like the idea. Go manufacture first place finish for thought control. Post another Fulsey. But anyways, this is last call. Thought control in the thin ice has prolific gray flank stepped in. I'm about to go to print unless this is it. I'm going to print unless we have new guesses. And of course, it can happen any second. The mystery is pudding. Nope, still Francis. All right. Okay, we're going to reply. And thought control went higher in everything, so percentages, traditionals, and differentials. Paste. Okay, moving along to trads, we have second and 14th, thought control thin ice. Second and 14th. Percentages 4th, 14th, and as we go on to diffs, we get 9th and 14th. 9th and 14th. My tab is way over on the left. And boom, boom, boom. 88 guesses. As many guesses as piano keys. We are now up to top 8. So nobody's going to be listed in diffs. But we're going to list 2 in percentage and 1 in trads. Percentage 8. Taking the list as a whole, Sparky Francis Lieberman. Education from Miss Markey. Oh, goodness. Just admiring. Little scattershot looking, but they like dark sarcasm and thought control. Copy. I wonder if Francis might possibly be thinking, what the heck is Gray Flank talking about? About this pudding stuff. Just some crack of Gray Flanks. You don't know what it means. Because there could be some issue about casual fan versus hardcore fan. The casual fan knows about the opening lines. We don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need the other. The hardcore fan knows what the guy is screaming at the end of the song. So, percentage 8 gets both of them in caps. Control the thin ice. Then here come the traditional 8, which will only give glory to thought control. And you know what else? This is the percentages that I have listed right now. No, that's not. I don't do. That's shares. Here's where percentages go. And I want to list all of these because I have a notion of going into the extras to make a champ out of thought control. Thought control does in fact look like a champ of some sort, but it could take some digging. Now we're going to bring up traditionals. It'll make it also less weird. There's a word for the day. Less weird that I am doing an update of just Francis's guesses. Like, why in the world are you doing an update of Francis's guesses? Why would Tommy Walker, why would Monstrous Walker do that? Said, oh, well, you know, it's a champ. It's a champ in this category. I want to recognize, and I always want to recognize champs in new categories as fast as I can. So here we are dealing with traditionals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pink Floyd, thought control, dark sarcasm, education. All the things we don't need no of. We don't need no thought control, no dark sarcasm in the classroom. We don't need no education. Slight confusion about the wall being another brick in the wall. But it's double counting. It's counting for the album and the partial title. Final cut, David Gower. Couldn't it be clearer? And it gets even better going down to 10th place between Tommy and The Who. guesses that came up together from Woody. Copy. Copy, copy, copy. And glory to thought control. Traditional 8. And we don't deal with differentials. Neither of them. Glory to neither differentials. Okay, so there's that. The next thing I need, though, this is quite a nice descent. And it's very tight, considering that Pink Floyd is the modifier. It's very tight guesses at the top. So then we have shares. And between such disparate levels and hits, because education is a hugely common word, and the others are not, but they're just right up there, bang, bang, bang in traditionals. It's just perfect. So here we have, what do we have? Yeah, Pink Floyd is more than home. A lot more. Home was a former champion in shares. And Pink Floyd doesn't beat it by that much, but it beats it. So we are dealing with the qualified best now. So we already knew about Floyd and the Wall. Those are old ones. 3,000, 7,000, 9,000 for education, 10,000 for another brick in the wall. No news. 20,000 for the final cut. Not news. Huge jump for thought control, and then to dark sarcasm. So thought control is right under. I hope I counted a 7. My whole point was I was supposed to be counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So thought control just before sarcasm. Okay. Copy. And what do we have here? Copy, copy, copy. We want to go to the bottom of this. Paste. I have a lot of caps to remove. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for dark sarcasm. So they all go into oldie mode. The Wall. Education. Another brick in the wall. The final cut. In caps, we want thought control, and then dark sarcasm. None of them eligible. Pink Floyd, The Wall, Education, another brick of the wall. The Final Cut, for some reason, godforsaken reason. Well, I guess they're the sequel to Another Brick of the Wall. And I heard that the school marm, whatever character, schoolmaster character, was fleshed out. The character that uttered the pudding line, I presume. Game high and qualified best, I think. Perhaps tied once. Okay. So, yes, Thought Control made it. Thought Control way to the top in traditionals. The higher in percentage. Nobody made it in diffs. 88. I know there's a champ here in Sum of Ranks. If I want to resurrect Sum of Ranks, just to say that Thought Control #1 did something. But I'd rather crown it. I would rather crown Thought Control. Oh, that was Floyd. Never recognized at the time. So Jules had both the first two? Oh, Jules guessed home. Yeah, okay. Let's see now. I would like to recognize Thought Control for one of the established active measures. I have not dealt with Sum of Ranks in a long, long time. Okay. 4 out of 5. What am I looking at right now? I just did. Was that just the worst? Are those the worst scores? 5 of the 6 worst scores are Francis's? Oh my, it's true. 5 of the worst 6 are Francis's. I did not realize that. Well, if you go for percentage, sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, I guess. Sometimes you can miss badly when you miss. Okay, let's figure out what our point is at this right now. AY and AZ. Traditionals has been established, but not necessarily this. BB and BC. Okay. I do want to know differentials, just so I can be armed with everything. Armed with everything that might be considered important as I look for something that Thought Control crowns in. Now we're looking for something pretty darn obscure, not middle range. pretty hard leaning towards tiny hits. And that's percentages more than differentials. BQ, I guess BR is what we need, isn't it? We don't care at all whether it's largest or smallest, just go where we're taken. And how many guesses have been? 88 guesses. That should mean 92. Line 92. Yep, got that right. Now, differentials at one time crowned the Beatles, and I never really had cause. I was planning on getting around to it, but now it just feels like just ridiculously old news to come in and say that, oh, at one point, at one time, the Beatles briefly led differentials. Yeah, that's a bit silly. Pink Floyd. That's a bit ridiculous. And that's not going to go away. No amount of advancement. And there's no advancement really to be made, is there? I think we've got the second, third, and fourth best possible scorers already on the board. All the things we don't need to know of. So I'll take this midway down too. All right. Sort. AP largest. No. We'll do smallest. And actually, let's cancel that. I'm rather a fan of going like this so that I can see the guesses at a glance. Okay, where are we in terms of AY? This is newfangled. Pink Floyd, The Wall, Education, another brick of the wall. Couple of guys, for some reason. Bands. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? This is newfangled. Newfangled does not think much of all of these things. Newfangled doesn't think much of all of dark sarcasm and iron in thought control and puts Iron Maiden between them. That's kind of weird. Bands grouped together, couple of dudes. Still get a sense of things, I guess. The Wall, Education, another brick. But, well, it's not groundbreaking for the fact that where's thought control? You're way down there. The thin ice, way down there. But anyways, Pink Floyd is known to be the traditional leader. It certainly doesn't break ground for us to be exposed to Pink Floyd leading in something. Our next category is something we call best worsts, taking the worst ranking between shares and percentage. What does it think? Oh, I must have done that absolutely wrong. AZ is what I wanted. AZ smallest. The Wall, Education, Pink Floyd. I think it's a little bit better, don't you think? It says very strange to have Tommy that high. Who the hell is Tommy? And then a band other than Floyd. What the hell? people from Floyd and other bands being interchangeable, a title of a song being interchangeable with a couple of bands it has nothing to do with. Once again, this far, it makes a lot of sense, but I'm going to take a stab at Thin Ice. Where's our pals? Well, it wasn't that kind of it's low in shares, isn't it? We don't need those. Even education. Nothing shows up. Yeah, I don't think best worst are the showcase category this time around. Sometimes it is. It can be the best measure on the board, but this mystery doesn't support that. Now, BC was bizarrely favoring, I think, physical graffiti? Well, it's Pink Floyd rock song album, Mother. Now, if you want to go to Pudding, let's do Mother. Guitar, Beatles, other stuff, other bands. The Wall, particular album. Education. Why, It's really nice. Really nice looking list in its own way. But we've already seen Floyd as champ elsewhere. I think this is the one that used to have physical graffiti. Oh, ho, 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 really? This is, that BC largest, really? Percentage relativity. Except thought control is the new one. Thought control, oh, this is interesting. Want to mess with their head? It's a champ. Can this really be? If Dark Sarcasm is that high, why not have thought control being that high? Why not? What would it count for them being that different? Weren't they kind of similar looking guesses? How? BC equal. Can this be real? Thought control has the same rank. Oh, sure, okay. Thought control does, in fact, have the same rank in percentage and traditional. That's what it's all about. So I guess no relativity points at all. The Thin Ice, though, is rather poor. Where's Dark Sarcasm? 3-1. See, that's not a large ratio, really. It's only 2 spots difference, but that translates to 3.0, and that's splits in that high. But yes, the Thin Ice is the largest split for whatever reason. The Thin Ice leads in percentage relativity. I say let's mess with Francis. We've looked this long and it's a champ. It's a category that we would go 4 deep in. What happens if we do that? Physical graffiti. It's all over the place, isn't it? Smarky. I don't know if the Dark Sarcasm was ever a champ recognized. Oh, anyways, let's mess with him. It's kind of fun. It's gonna have both of its guesses. Fred's gonna have both of her guesses being champs. Of course, I have to go to print after only 2 guesses. If they're both champs somewhere, holy moly! So what's going on for column BS? Another brick in the wall. Why in the world, Tommy? Why in the world, Scarlet and Physical Fairy, Physical Freedom, all these strange things? Another brick and wall, though, was definitely a champ in its time. Was a percentage champion in its time. It's not especially groundbreaking to see that it has been champ in something else, even if it's holding in one. It's a lot to fill the heads with, and it's not really relative to this batch. It might be BT. It could well be BT, or it's going to be the BWs. This might be the one that gives thought control. Something like this could give thought control to the championship. No? What am I thinking here? Percentage and differentials. Where is thought control? Thought control is kind of, thought control is kind of low in, what are we looking at? Percentages and differentials. Looking at a bunch of things that combine with with differentials, and that's really not a strong suit. So Breakable Education, Gilmore, and BU, still the brick. BW combines traditionals, might have a better shot here. Education, oh, that's interesting. Now this is especially interesting, isn't it? Education is first, with another brick of the wall beating the wall, which is comforting. Dark sarcasm. Gilmore gets between dark sarcasm and thought control. So education a champ. Is that something to mention? Well, I have champs in more than one category, so why do I like to unveil things slowly. BX, education. The traditional differentials favor education the most. There's wall over brick of the wall. Maybe the same category as the Beatles. BZ is no big thing for Floyd to be leading in something. CC, education. Education a champ. Well, Tommy, another brick. Why is Tommy better than Floyd? Hello? Of course, the new scoring system is a little bit unfair. And CE education. Education is leading in a bunch of stuff that would not be recognized. But we don't really have to go to these things. Well, not if we have more to report. I believe I have sum of ranks. One of my artifacts here is sum of ranks. So let me see if I can get this straight, which one it is. One of these things I just haven't dealt with in ages. Differentials. Is it this one? Let's see, B cubed. Is it BR? What's BR? Just restatement of traditionals. Okay. Percentage differentials. Actually, percentage differential best worst. Percentage differentials. I think it's BV. Percentage traditionals. Yep. I have not carded out BV in ages. But I think it's my excuse to say that Francis actually led in two things. Both of her guesses led something. AP smallest and then AV AV smallest to BV. I have not looked at this one in ages. Wait, are they tied? What's going on here? No, it's going to be like BV best worst. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, well, Dark Sarcasm gets there with a 3 and a 1. Thought Control gets there with a 2 and a 2. So sum of ranks are equal, and Dark Sarcasm came first. And it's certainly interesting to look at those being 1, 2, although they're already 1, 2 in percentage. It's not any big champ in BX or BZ. But you know what? Sum of ranks best worst. That's what we really need to do. So BW, BX, BY is a strange one. That's Triple Crown. Thought Control Triple Crown loses narrowly. It wins in sum of ranks. I need to do sum of ranks best worst to bring it out. Sum of ranks. I mean, I already know that it does, right? I can even do this by definition. There's the champs in. In fact, it's quite a drop off. There's the champs in sum of ranks, percentages and traditionals together. And see, this 10-10, if you're talking about best worst, Final Cut can't possibly do better than 5th and 5th, which would be 5. So right away we know it's between these two. I mean, you can 4 and 0, 3 and 1. And we know that Thought Control is the champ here. It's kind of a made-up category. I don't think I want to recognize it as a full-Z category. And I kind of don't want to recognize either one. Okay, I know where to go with this. It's a little cutie pie. 14, was it? It was percentage relativity. Refresh ourselves one more time. Not a category that's been especially recognized. But it is the thin ice, percentage relativity. Okay. After all this time, there's a very good chance someone's come in with a guess. So, thought control made. Oh, what am I looking at? The best? Okay. Qualified best without the label. Oh. The Wall, Education, Other Brick in the Wall, The Final Cut, Thought Control, Dark Sarcasm. Traditional 8, Pink Floyd, Thought Control. Percentage 8, Dark Sarcasm, Thought. So Dark Sarcasm, Thought Control, Pink Floyd, Thought Control. Final Cut, The Thin Ice. Second and fourth. Second and ninth for Thought Control. 14th and 14th, The Thin Ice. Oh. One off recognized levels. I'm going to say neither of these are really neither of his champs are really recognized levels. Let's see. Third tier. Relativity is a third tier. Relativity is an if applicable one. And I'm not going to recognize it. We're going to say one off from percentage traditional, therefore 4. Third tier and obscurity. Well, some of ranks is obscure. Some of ranks best worst. I wonder, have I ever published a list for some of rank's best worst? Logical that I have, but I don't have any sign of it in my spreadsheet. Third and fifth tiers. Francis Thin Ice. Number ones. Or percentage rank relative. Or percentage rank relative. Fastest is thin ice. Number ones in the third tier measure percentage relativity. The third tier measure percentage relativity. Percentage rank relative to traditional rank. Fastest is thin ice. Number ones in the third tier measure while thought control takes first in sum of ranks best worst, which I can't swear to. Francis is thin ice. Number ones in the third tier measure percentage in the third tier measure of percentage relativity, percentage rank relative to traditional rank, while thought control takes first. In sum of ranks best worst, which I can't swear to ever figuring out before. Sum of ranks is an oldie artifact on my spreadsheet that adds traditional rank to percentage rank. Sum of ranks is an oldie artifact on my spreadsheet. It's an oldie artifact on my spreadsheet that adds traditional rank to percentage rank. Sum of ranks is an oldie artifact on my spreadsheet that adds traditional rank to percentage rank. So it's best, worst, takes the poorer ranking between these, carries the, so it's best, worst, carries, so it's best, worst, so it's best, worst, carry the poorer ranking between these two measures forward. Thought control in the vest, thought control in trads, thought control in thin ice percentage. Okay. Third and fifth tiers. And after all that, I would say it's extremely logical that we have the solve. Done a lot of goofing off. And after all of that, we could well the solve. It's pudding. Let's go. Pudding is the mystery. It's been a hell of a long time. Let's do pudding. 88. What do we have? Nope, I don't think so. I think I would have seen it. Let's see now. More guesses, but it's the wrong person. Okay. Probably not going to go anywhere, but I have to just whip it out just because. Because we have to have everybody working on equal information. Pudding. Nope. Okay. Roger Waters and teacher. Come on, Greyflake. It's going to be you. That's what's going to happen here. They're all giving it to you. Roger Waters and teacher. They're not getting it. It's hanging around for you, Greyflake. Just hold on to this time. It's going to be approaching Greyflake hour. Roger Waters and what? Teacher? Teacher, leave us kids alone? It's absolutely pudding. But that might be for the hardcore fan. You might be all saying, what the heck is Greyflake blabbing on about? Okay, so I think it's going to hang around for Greyflake. Okay. Not quite like when Nizzerkoob did it. Nizzerkoob just pretty much rebounded her own missed shot. But here the ball's kind of changing hands a few times before it's going to get to Greyflake. So a bit of a different feel here. Pink Floyd and Pudding. Is it still at 12.6? Yes, it is. Copy. We're at 90 now. Well, that's a little bit historic. We get to produce top nines for what it's worth. Sometimes that means something. Being able to include one extra on a list. Roger Waters. See if he goes next to the other dude in the band. Okay. Floyd. Okay, good. Okay, so 0.458, when it's modified by Floyd. Well, you know what? I don't have pudding loaded. I need to have pudding loaded. First off, let's establish that I think we should establish that we're spelling the thing correctly. I mean, we know we are, but I think it's a good check to go through. Okay, here we come, Roger Waters. So Roger Waters by himself was what? About the same as it showed last time. Pink Floyd is an assumed part of the guesses now. That goes over half. 0.283. $1.9 thousand. Where's the other one? Gilmore up there. Less and less. Very comparable. But I think Gilmore actually is better. Really. Percentages and so teacher. This should be, teacher leave his kids alone. Should do better than education. And I suppose that means that teacher will be knocking out education and some of those other measures. some those other extra measures. Do you really want to talk about that? I mean, if Woody makes a number one, I guess we should mention it. Okay. No, okay, that's not what we want. 72.8. When we bring Pink Floyd into it, what do we get? 0.121. 0.121. $2.28 thousand. Pretty darn good. When I do cross posts, I have no burden to deal with differentials. Teacher, well, teachers ahead of education. We saw all those things that education was a champion. So why not have teacher go higher than education in its categories? What was that? Okay, I guess it's straightened out. That's nice. I'm glad to hear it straightened out. No, we don't want to filter. Cancel. Okay, I'm getting a bit wild here. Getting wild, my fingers don't know what they're doing. I guess this is where I want to be. Overalls. Teacher beats thought control. Teacher, thought control, dark sarcasm, education. It's just crazy. This is completely crazy. It could be look at that. Oh my God, this is tight. I didn't think we'd go higher in overall. This is tight. Pink Floyd teacher. Oh my God. Oh. I don't want to recognize any lyrics here. Would he leave host alone? D. 80 largest. I think it thoroughly beats Roger Waters. Now, this is really clear. G. Teach over Roger Waters. Copy. Copy, 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 copy. A. Second and 10th. Which drops the other one down to third. So this was 10th, right? Second and 10th. Oh boy. Is it a battle royale for second? You push out a traditional 10. Yeah, what's it look like here? How many guesses have piled in? Maybe we can look at it this way. Here's traditionals. How many guesses? Where's Pink Floyd? Right there at 71. Well, okay. I guess I don't have these. I don't have everybody buy traditionals. But what if I did? Kind of go around for a headline. So ever since Pink Floyd went to first, what was second at the time? Would have been Zeppelin, right? Zeppelin's the highest scoring asterisk after Pink Floyd. So there was old Zeppelin at 34, guess 34. And it's kind of a jump, really, if you think of it that way. We took a long time to get to Floyd. But we did. So Zeppelin at 34, Floyd at 71. So at the time, Zeppelin was the tops. Maybe that's the way we want to look at it. Floyd was at guess number 71. So 72 is below it. Iron Maiden is below it. The lowest guess number here, okay, there's a 78, there's a 76, a 75. So another brick in the wall would have been the next one. So after Zeppelin, another brick in the wall goes to second at guess 75. The wall goes to second at guess 77. Dark Sarcasm goes to second at guess 80. Thought Control goes to second at guess 87. Teacher goes at 90. Fifth new second placer. Fifth new second placer in $15 guesses. I don't really think it's the thing to address. There might be an appearance of Pink Floyd being just about insurmountable for the fact that it's a modifier, and then what's the big deal? I need a headline though, and I do want to get out of here. I suppose doozy. Any second it could come in. We're looking for the freaking pudding. Third and fifth tiers. Okay. Well, we've spent more time here than we were planning on, but I'm allowed to do these things at my leisure. Now that I have this right, let's see what we got here. Hits rank. Where am I going? Well, it's you, Greyfling. They're not as hardcore as you are. It's up to you to wake up. This is not a joke. Or, it is a joke. But that's because the guessing game is so funny. Jokes can be the right answer when you're having fun. Jokes don't mean that we're kidding. That's the idea. That's where the confusion is. Don't jokes mean that they're kidding? It can't be the joke, can it? Why not? I don't think I remember a 60. I don't remember plus 60s. I think that's it. Ah! Oh boy! And Roger and Gilmore are sitting together, This is one of the best of all of them. 3 guys, Fall the Who, album, Control, Sarcasm. Oh my lord. Some weird things going on down there. Wow. Okay. Teacher and education. It must be about education. Something about education. The top 2 have something to do with education. Oh man. Well, this is Folsey stuff. Teacher and Roger Waters, 1st and 5th. Oh man. Thirteenth, 10th, and 5th. Do you believe differentials or do you believe percentage? Oh man, percentages and traditionals. 5th, 2nd, and 1st, 13th, 10th, and 5th. Could add some confusion. Teacher education. Pudding. Oh, it could be another miss. Oh. Will people get overly confused by this? Teacher and education. Our first 2 in diffs. That could ruin us. And we'll miss 100 again. We'll miss the inside 100 solve again. Okay. I don't want to talk about giving an apple to a teacher because that's food. That might as well be pudding. Might as well be giving. What do you leave the host alone? Because I'm finally getting with the program. I don't know, at this point it's too ridiculous, isn't it? Why deny it anymore? You're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling with anybody by not reciting the lyrics along with them. By not singing along with them. You're not fooling anybody by not singing along with them. Let's go ahead now. Teacher, education, dark sarcasm. You might as well sing along at this point. And, you know, the cross pose. Okay. Okay. Percentages, ratios, and differentials. 9 guesses. Waters Waters does make diffs. We have 1 make percentage. We actually have teacher makes percentage and trads. Oh, Waters doesn't. Waters is being diffs, but that's going to be for the post. So teacher makes percentage and trads. That's the basic story. I don't need to look up extras. Gary Gilmore. Gilmore, education. Teacher. Education. Girl, teacher. Tonight's final cut. Thought control, dark sarcasm. Teacher, education. Kind of all over the place as far as giving a coherent message, but it does have sarcasm and thought control at the top. So where are we going here? We're going to the edit. She paired it with Roger Waters, which we don't have to bother with. Traditional 9. D. There's 9. They're pals, but they don't speak to each other in the elites. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretty crazy. Traditional 9. Pink Floyd. Teacher. Thought Control. Dark Sarcasm. Education. The Wall. Another Brick in the Wall. The Final Cut. David Gilmour. David Gilmour. Good Lord. Percentages, the traditionals, the diffs are going to be coming up. See how the qualified bests are doing. Qualified bests. I think I recognize Francis's from a while back. Let's see where we are. It's 7 long, isn't it? The last we knew. Floyd is 3,000. The Wall makes 2. That's 7,000. Education is an oldie. 9,000. It's 3. My fingers say have 3 up. Teacher. Education and Teacher, back to back. Floyd, The Wall. Education, Teacher. At 18. And that's going to take out the Brick in the Wall. Education, Teacher is at 18,000. So the other Brick in the Wall is gone. This is transcended. 10,000. Final Cut's still in there. So at 20 is the Final Cut. And we knew about the others. So the basic story is that Teacher beats another Brick in the Wall. 18,000 for Teacher, 10,000 for another Brick in the Wall. We're hard inside the song for its lyrics. Teacher beats another Brick in the Wall. That is the story. Oh, and with edit, it's actually a little bit tough to bring them all up. So we'll just print the whole bugger, print the whole thing. Floyd, The Wall, Education, Teacher. Floyd, The Wall, Education, Teacher. Pink Floyd, The Wall, Education, Teacher. Teacher transcends over. Teacher transcends over. So we're solidly in lyrics now. Solidly. And you've got the right song. So after 18,000, the Final Cut at 20. Final Cut, Thought Control, Dark Sarcasm. Thought Control, Dark Sarcasm. Still holding at 7. And these are what are known as the qualified best. Pink Floyd, The Wall, education, teacher. Pink Floyd, The Wall, education, teacher, the final cut, thought control, dark sarcasm. Traditional 9. Teacher, thought control, dark sarcasm, educated, the wall, another brick of the wall. It's completely nuts. Percentage 9. Dark sarcasm, thought control. Doesn't quite look right, does it? Teacher transcends over another brick in the wall. Dealing with your crossroads. Boy, leave the host alone. Dealing with your crossroads. Differential champ. Teacher transcends over differential champion. Teacher transcends over another brick in the wall. Additional differentials coming up. Okay. Copy. And of course, anything can happen any second now, as I'm about to do differentials. Pudding. That might be a new one. Classroom teacher, Libra Romana, 30 seconds. 30 seconds? Well, I have to deal with the classroom. Dark sarcasm in the classroom. He's just like going right down the lyrics. Right down them. Come on, Gray. It's hanging around for you. I don't have to feel sorry about teacher, though, do I? 1 hour ago. It's not quite guessed. They're about an hour apart. So Libra Romana is in. So fine then. Okay, I caught in a storm. It's not going to let up. But first we're going to do the differentials. What the hell? Or I don't know. Libra Romana might not know about the cross pose coming up. I don't know. Do I go differentials without Libra Romana? No, I catch her up. Classroom. Does she rightfully know that I have a cross pose going? Maybe I want to figure that out. At third and fifth tiers, 36 minutes ago. It's known I had a cross post to deal with. It should be known I had a cross post to deal with, and that I was not able to deal with completely. That means I'm catching up on people. And that when I do my cross posts, anything that flows from that, I have the right to print. Classroom and teacher. I have the right to go to print with the continuation of my cross posts. I can do this. I can do diffs. Okay, small is followed by AK largest. Teacher, education, to the brick the wall. Okay. Teacher, education, another brick of the wall. Bunch of people, the wall. Copy. Yep. Into a shitstorm. Into a shitstorm, trying to unchain. But you guys out there in the vast listening audience, you should have told me that. You should have told me what I was doing and stopped me. Okay. Teacher, education, another brick of the wall. Oh. Okay. Do not foul. Well, change teacher to what will she change teacher to? Well, she's better change it fast. Classroom. Classroom, classroom. I want to beat her. I want to beat her to it. If I can do it. Classroom. What is that? Oh, this is frightening, whatever I did. What did I do? Classroom. Classroom is what Lieberman has said. Yeah, the process is long, long, long. I don't seem to have much hope. Classroom. T. Oh, I'd love to just beat Lieberman to this. I don't want to permit it. Okay, but you got to do better than that. You have to mean business. $12,600. Carries down 1. We save. Classroom. We look. We load pudding by itself. We look up classroom. Beat Lieberman. 25.5. No, we don't give a hoot about that. Classroom in conjunction with Pink Floyd. That's what we give a hoot about. 27,100. 27,100. $737 with pudding. Looks like a best, doesn't it? G. Large. G. Classroom. Dark sarcasm. Talk control class. Well, okay. G, it's third. Dark sarcasm. Talk control. Classroom. Come on, guys. Gracelink has it. This is nutty fruitcake. Come on. D. Largest. Arts education of all classrooms. I don't need to do this. That's a waste of time. I don't have to go to any of these others, though. You know what? We know that classroom is 7th and 3rd. It's 3rd and 7th. You can do this. You can do this manually. 3rd and 7th to beat Lieberman. Third and 7th. Does she do it? No, she doesn't. Well, she got it in. Happiest, she got it in. Fine. But you missed. The happiest days of our lives. Ah, Jesus Christ. Oh, goodness gracious. Libra Romana. Guess 92. It is considered a continuation. I'll accept that as a continuation. Well, it's loaded though. I don't know. File and save. Need to look at the happiest days of our lives. Probably a Floyd song. I shouldn't take a look back though. It segs into it. Fine. Okay. When this gets, in fact, Pink Floyd. I absolutely said Pink Floyd, right? Absolutely, I said Pink Floyd. I'm not even going to load this one. 10,100. I absolutely spelled pudding correctly. Absolutely. 10,100. Millions, hundred thousands, 10,000s. 228. Should we get excited about that? Do we care? It's nice numbers. Not as good as Classroom. It falls off in a couple of ways. Okay. Sort by G. Well, it's got the fourth highest percentage. Kind of interesting. It scores at a better percentage than another brick of the wall. If you believe in percentage, go ahead. Go chasing it. Go ahead and chase it. Okay. Here comes D. Half days are lighter goes way back in traditionals. So what's real? What's important? It's only 16th in traditionals. Go another some other random thing. Okay, that's all the burden I have. AP. Largest. Sort by G. Largest. Third and fourth, that's really tight. Copy. I guess we're going to check. No! Bastard! Okay. You guys are trying to kill me. Do I have any rule that says that I can't have to deal with this? Indoctrination, transcendentalism. Now you're just getting weird now. It's a weird mystery. Transcendentalism. Indoctrination. Transcendentalism. God, I haven't done guesses real time like this since Buddha. Indoctrination, transcendentalism, I'm not going to look. Not going to look. I do want pudding to be loaded. In conjunction with Pink Floyd. $2,150. $2,150. So what happens if we blow it on purpose? 41. Thousands, hundreds, tens. What's it mean? Looks actually pretty good. I don't know why. It's not that good though. Transcendentalism. Transcendentalism. Okay, with Pink Floyd. There could be logic. Might be seeking a page that's particularly interesting. 278. Transcendentalism. Spelling completely right. 278. Pretty ridiculously low. 278. A new mark for low. Millions, hundred thousands, 10,000s, 1,000s, hundreds. 278. One. It does have one. Well, shortcake with pudding. Thousands, 110, 1. That's probably pretty good too. I don't know. Well, everything with Floyd is good, I guess. Okay. Short. We're flying along towards 100, people. Don't you want a shiny finish? Indoctrination actually does make 7th. Of course, it's not especially impressive next to in a world where everything just about beats Pink Floyd by definition. The new scoring system. So all I need to do. In fact, I suppose I can get by with just one measure or the other, not two of them. These are the 4 new ones. G. Largest. Coffee. Okay. I hope the last one I was on, if I couldn't bear to see who else. Was there anybody else? Costume notice wasn't. Going to print. Constitutionalism, pretty awful. 94 guesses. Okay. So I'm thinking over my rules for cross posts and what I allow myself to do. Thinking of, do my rules really say that I have to stay as chained as I was there? AK largest. AK. All different. Class happiest, class happiest, class happiest. Indoc trans, indoc trans, indoc trans. So complete agreement between the three of them. Third, seventh, and seventh. Fourth, 16th, and 17th. Twenty-third and 22nd. Transcendentalism. 78th, 39th. 78th and 39th. I'm supposed to do this at my leisure, not worry. How did I get swept up in this? At 9 guesses, I've got 3 making it in percentage. 1 making it in trads, 1 making it in diffs. 3 making in percentage, only 1 for trads and diffs. GGG. What's the word? Class happiest indoc trans. Well, class happiest indoc. Kind of confusing. Indoctrination's placement. Traditional 9. 1 and 1, yes? 1 and 1. Right there. Classroom. Final cut. Another brick in the wall. Classroom. The wall. Education. Dark sarcasm. Thought girl. Teacher. Pink Floyd. They don't have it. There's pudding all along. Come on, Gray Flink. Put them out of their misery. Beat 100. You had it. You had it on the very first try. Gray Flink did anyways. Beat 100. You haven't beaten 100 in ages. Think it through. You can beat 100. I'm unchained. Right? Percentage 9. Traditional 9. Only classroom. AK largest. There's where 9 is. But it just sounded 10th to take care of the tie. The Who. Classroom, the wall, there's water, Gilmore, Tommy, another brick, education, and teacher. What's important? Qualified best. Classroom seems logically the one. What is this business about? I don't think it's anything I really care about. I don't think it's anything that's going to mess me up too much. I don't think I want to look at it though. Okay. Is it still 7? Floyd. The wall. Education. Teacher. The classroom's the new one. 18,000. Excuse me. Don't see it here. We go from 18,000 to 26,000. So from teacher to classroom, which means that the final cut is gone now. And it's still very, very sharp swing the rest of the way, but yes, classroom came in and knocked out the final cut. Classroom knocked out the final cut. But I'm in editing mode. So I might as well do them all again. So, Floyd, The Wall. Pink Floyd, The Wall, education teacher. And classroom. Pink Floyd, The Wall, education teacher, classroom. Education teacher, classroom. $26,000. Thought control, dark sarcasm. Thought control, dark sarcasm. And it was the final cut, right? It got rid of the final cut. Classroom transcends over the final cut. Can it be clearer? Mm. Okay, this time we're going to process as we go. Dis, trads, percent, all that stuff. Could Classroom be a champ anywhere? Is it an option for Classroom to be a champ anywhere in anything? I kind of think it is. I kind of think it is. I kind of think it could be. Do I subject you to it though? I don't think I do. I don't think I subject you to it. I'm going to be a brave soul here And well, okay, we'll pause. How about that? We'll pause. Holy moly, this has been a long one. I'm just glancing up at the clock. 2 hours 45 minutes for this shitstorm. There haven't even been that many guesses, but just trickling them in, going through a huge process, starting them all over. This is really, really crazy. I think I'm going to be able to sleep. That was one of my issues a while before. I think I'm going to have a hard earned sleep pretty soon. Okay. And what are we going to deal with now? I'm going to show you. I set up all the extras, and now goodness gracious. I'm going to go here. Okay. The big one of late is classroom, right? Classroom is what we're looking for. Classroom is the grand hope in this last four. But Floyd's on top in Newfangled. Okay. Education is the tops and best worsts. And it's a section we haven't really dealt with before. I don't think it's really news, or it's something to look into later. If rock, how about that? If it persists over a slow period, what in the world is that? Really? BC largest? Transcendentalism actually gets percentage relativity. What? 3 of the 4? Well, okay, because they're that awful. Basically, because they're that awful, and this is not one of those situations that really likes percentage relativity. I hope I actually did them. I think it makes kind of some sense. I mean, we had some horrible scores. Everybody did well in percentage. There's some pretty horrible scores in traditionals, given the fact. Transcendental happy indoctrination. 94, 92, 93. Last 3 guesses. Actually, only one of them got past dark sarcasm, but 3 of the 4 percentage elites come in the last 3 guesses. That's a scoop. Percentage relativity. Oh, goodness. No, we're not near signing off at this point. Three straight guesses make 3 straight guesses. Last 3 guesses have all made the percentage relativity elites. That is something. I mean, if we're going to go there, Tommy. weird stuff. But I don't really think of these things as all that based in reality. This is not really a batch built for relativity. It's not applicable. BT smallest. Teacher classroom. Classroom is the latest. Gosh, really looks like education somehow. Teacher classroom, education, another brick of the wall. They can start confusing themselves looking at stuff like that for too long. VU. Classroom is the new one. VW. Teacher education. Nothing really current. The teacher got diffs. So seeing it as a champ doesn't break ground. BX. BZ, we know that's Floyd. Kind of indulging it. CC. Education is in a bunch of stuff. CE. Education and a bunch of stuff. I did, for some reason, the last time I saw that, I decided it was not something I needed to act on. And I think the same is true here. Differential 9. Qualified best. Let's do it. It's rather striking. And maybe this even means that I don't need to mention it. They can go holy crap on their own. VC largest, if they want to go holy crap about it. Three of the last four guesses. Go crazy. Tell you that's not relevant. Try to ignore it. The classroom is the one that's not in. Transcend happiness indoctrination. Stability 4, differential 9. $94 guesses. I'm out. Yes. Crash transcends over final cut. Baby Einstein's you can see to what extent, exactly what manner. Copy. Now, of course, there could be something here. There could be something. It could be pudding. It could be it. I'm exhausted at this point. I've seen it's been too much. Pudding. Here it is. Doesn't have it. 1 minute, really. And I printed I'm out. And she's above it. I'm out. I truly am out. Really? Well, okay. That's how it. That's the shape of it. And I had the right to finish up the list. Berlin Wall graffiti. What's this about? Francis loses heart in the pathway. Somehow. Graffiti. What's that reminding me of? What's that album? Physical Graffiti. So we actually got 2 points for graffiti here. We got other points for wall, other types of walls. Oh, Francis. Couldn't take it anymore. And moved off. Oh, Francis. Look at all that. Thought control, thin ice, Roger Waters' teacher. So I didn't have Roger Waters, so there's Woody has to be dealt with here. By the time I leave Woody, Libramana, it was too close to call, right? Or sometimes it shook out that she guessed first, Libramana came in first, without necessarily knowing that I'd gone to print. And she gets hers in. '94. This has been a long baseball game at this point. Long baseball game. This is crazy. This is what baseball turned into once the likes of Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay, started becoming the norm. Carlton Fisk, people who realized it was to their advantage to slow the tempo, have their way, their pacing against the various pitchers. Every hitter in the league finds it's a good idea. There's no rule against it, and the games get slower and slower and slower until finally you have baseball games that last longer than hot and cold guessing game rounds. It's completely ridiculous. This is Tommy Walker, your host of The Guessing Game, the author of the beautiful book to the left. And boy, they ought to have it soon. Look for Graveflanks to solve. It's Graveflanks to solve. So, but that will have to wait. We're over the 3-hour mark. Till next time.